For some may reach for the stars, others will end behind bars. What the future has in store, no one ever knows before. Though time may help you forget all that has happened before, it's too late to regret what is gone will be no more. Tomorrow is my turn. No more doubts, no more fears. Tomorrow is my turn. When my luck is returning, all these years I've been learning to save fingers from burning. Tomorrow is my turn. No more doubts, no more fears. Tomorrow is my turn to receive without giving, to make life worth the living. For it's my life I'm living, and my only concern. For tomorrow is my turn. When summer is gone, there's another to come. You can't stop years drifting by, even if you want to try. Though time may help you forget all that has happened before, but sweetheart, it's too late to regret what is gone. Be no more. Tomorrow is my turn. No more doubts, no more fears. Tomorrow is my turn. When my luck is returning, all these years I've been learning to save fingers from burning. I said tomorrow is my turn. No more doubts, no more fears. Tomorrow is my turn to receive without giving, to make life worth my living. For it's my life I'm living. Tomorrow is my turn. No more doubts, no more fears. Tomorrow is my turn for my love to be returning. All these years I've been learning to save fingers from burning. Tomorrow is my turn. No more doubts, no more fears. Tomorrow is my turn to
After wrapping the shoot, we held an impromptu roundtable that was so real and so vulnerable. I'm grateful that the director of photography had the foresight to mic the moment and set up cameras in the green room where we kept it real. You're welcome. Hashtag watch. The conversation that we were just wrapping is, about being at the church and your son keeping it real and enjoying that. That was your son or
no, that's a friend.
Oh, friend of yours that And I think that that's why I say adult storytelling, because there's a space where we can say, okay, listen, 7-year-olds have their story time, and now so do adults. You're welcome. Like there's some stuff that happens, and we have to be able to call it like we see it, and to be able to say that it doesn't look the same. Y'all were hearing everybody's story, each other's stories. What were y'all hearing? Like, what were some of the common threads? What were you feeling as you were listening? There was a ton of love, but what were you hearing?
I heard a commonality of pain at some point in everybody's life. And it's cathartic, I guess, in a way, to see that you're not the only one. And when you see other people coming through and expressing it through that story, it's again one of those nuggets that says there's hope.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What else?
For me, again, like I said, it was, the commonality also was love. And being one, with each other, and all of us sharing the, like you said, pain and love, and coming through it. All of us came through it, right? And all of us are still here. Thank God for that, right?
Yeah.
So just the beauty in the love, for sure.
I ain't seen that. No.
I ain't seen that. Stop lying.
So I went to prison on August 28th and got out on August 28th. So 828 been just my numbers, right? And one of my favorite verses in the Bible is Romans 8:28.
Wow.
All things work for the good of those who love the Lord and are called according to his purpose. So when I hear these stories, I'm looking at no matter what hell we've gone through, the ups, the downs, the pain, the setback, the frustration, the end result makes it all worth it. What's on the other side of the equal sign? Not the 1 plus the 1. It was hell, it was pain. What's on the other side of the equal sign? It made a preacher, it made a mother, it made a better, you know what I'm saying? What's on the other side? So it just makes me think that no matter what we go through in our life, that all things, work for the good. When we got love, that's a part of it.
Right.
And we'll be called according to a purpose. You can't be doing it.
Absolutely.
Purpose.
Yeah. What I thought was interesting is that the anxiety that one of y'all was feeling, Ruben, and it was and like self-identifying as an amateur, but he got up to the mic, and what did y'all hear?
Awesomeness. Yeah.
There was no amateurness.
Real talk. It just flowed.
It's flowed,
Natural and heartfelt.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think because I have worked with you Star and you Ghazi, like we have actually traveled. Y'all have been featured, on a lot more the stuff. And Ruben, just be telling me some stuff, and I'm like, hey, that'll be good on my mic. That's literally how I pull him into stuff. I'm like, okay, wait, that story, I think I want you to tell a story here. And he was like, wait, I don't know what this is. Okay, it's your family reunion.
Right.
Go.
I'm your cousin.
Yeah. I'm your cousin. Yeah. I the fact that he was nervous and was like saying, I'm an amateur. I think that's why a lot of the stories that are out there are not good, because people continue to discount who they are and where they've been. And what I love about the way y'all have all shown up with your stories is you represent a very, what we call quotidian, like the ordinary, the usual. So it's not like this fantastical thing. It's like when your mama have you young and what comes with that. When you just have the realities of life as a Black woman and all of those different things that come up, and you like, look, I'm going to be out of here. And you know, as a police officer and as a preacher and as a man who is doing, like you are standing up, like you're doing all of the right things. And then we end up with, you know, it's like PTSS, like that's the thing that we have to deal with. Speak to what it means to just kind of do life but then to tell the story in a way that gives hope to others.
For me, I was just saying the whole thing. The other commonality about all of us in our storytelling is that every step that we have taken in our life we were meant to take for us to be here. Right. So I'm standing up in front of my kids, first time ever teaching 6th grade, ever doing direct instruction, because I've never done it before. So I'm reading, right, in front of these kids, and I'm scared, thinking, oh my gosh, am I going to be able to hold their attention? What am I going to be able to do? Well, all this time, all these years, I've been teaching and standing in front of these students, trying to capture their attention and hold it long enough to get what it is that I want to give them in this time. Yeah. And all of that set me up to be able to stand today in front of the camera and tell this story that I have always been a little afraid to tell. I can tell it to strangers. But when it's virtual, then you kind of know that there's some people that know you that are going to hear it. And so I can, honestly say too, I wasn't as afraid of the judgment this time.
That's beautiful.
So, just everything we've done has landed us here. Every single step, every hurt, everywhere we feel like we made the biggest mistakes or didn't work hard enough or whatever was meant. And I am so grateful.
Yeah.
With me, it's so how we was younger, we was taught, I used to hear that experience is the best teacher. And because I was always a rebel, I like challenging proverbial wisdom. You gotta let me know experience is the best teacher, right? So, and in my life, I challenged that because I seen people who lose everything to smoking drugs, crack or heroin. The first time they hit that pipe, they lost everything, almost their life. The second time they did it, they lost it. And I don't know people that died overdosing. So it's like, they experienced it many, many times, but I don't know like what it taught them. But what it taught me was that I don't personally believe that experience itself is the best teacher, but I believe in every experience there's a lesson. And that if we get the lesson from the experience, it's the lesson that catapults our life to another level. An example I like to use was just because I experienced the kindergarten, I went to recess with my friends, we went to field trips, I went to art class and music and went to lunch and played kickball. Just because I experienced that, don't mean I'm going to the first grade. I gotta get the lessons of the kindergarten in order to go to the first grade. So a lot of people, we go through the experience without getting the lesson. I think the value of these stories is that we go through that, but what lesson was it for me that'll make me a better human being? I can extract something from that. And it's the lesson that we pass on to other people that help liberate other people and free them. It ain't the experience, it ain't the story, no matter how dramatic it is, but it's the lesson. People want to hear the lesson, like, damn, the lesson elevate you, the lesson can elevate me. And then have people looking at their own story somewhat different.
Absolutely.
Like, damn, there's lessons in this, And I remember once interviewing a sister on a podcast, and she was raped, molested, and everything by a man she thought was her father. In her mind, like, it can't be no lessons in this shit. It just can't be no lessons in this. But we got through pulling that apart. Now she's an advocate for other women. Like, look at the hell you went through, but now look at what you're doing now. She's a top advocate for other young ladies who was raped, molested, and stuff like that. Because it was a lesson in it for her. And sometimes we go through things and we don't see the lesson because of the pain. The pain can obscure the lesson. But if we can get past the pain and get that lesson, it'll catapult us to a whole nother level.
But I also think that one of the things that I love about the power of story, the power of storytelling, is that it does not force us to didactically try to extract a particular lesson. It just kind of locates, like, this is where we are, because everybody is on a journey, everybody is figuring it out. And I think the story permits people to enter from whatever space, feels safe for them. Because there's a Faith who was married to Biggie. It's not Faith.
Faith Evans.
Faith Evans, she had a song, "If I had to do it all again, I wouldn't take away the pain because I know it made me who I am." Now, I've loved the melody of that song, but for years I could not sing that lyric because I'm like, wait, I did everything right. I don't like that I had to. I read books. I helped Ruben with his reading, you know. And so I write books. I do these things. I'm like, listen, give me a book and I'm gonna learn it. I didn't like that there were things that I had to experience. So for a lot of years, I could not sing that song. I thought it was a beautiful melody. But when I recognized that, number one, I more than conquered it, I overcame it. And number two, that there were other people who were still doing it, I got to be a representative of what it looks like, you know, on the other side of that. If I would tell them what happened was, on this day, this thing, only after I recognized then, you know, that I could sing that lyric. If I had to do it all again, I wouldn't take away the pain, because I know it made me who I am.
You know, it's funny how the different perspectives. Like, even we were all in there and we all got something out of what we heard from each other. But what I find interesting is that we all got something out of it that's common to where we are now.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what you were saying about how there's a lesson, and the lesson is not always just for us, but for other people. And so I think just being naked right now, one of the lessons that I'm not trying to get, but I'm trying to reveal, is we've overcome a bunch of stuff, but I want to be a lesson for people who are still in the middle of it.
Right. Right.
Because truth be told, I wasn't going to come because I'm still in the whirlwind. And some of the pains and anxieties are still very real. And I don't like it because that's not me. I'm with you. I don't want to feel. For the longest, I went 30-something years pushing that stuff down. I want to solve the problem and move forward. But sometimes you can't do that immediately. Mm-hmm. And so that painful process has to be dealt with. And when you deal with it the right way, then those beautiful lessons can come about. And if me being here, telling that story, which I thought was cool, it's a cool story, but what good is it if nobody can see the realness of it and draw some kind of strength from it, so that when they are in the middle of it, they can, even if you just limp, just move.
Just move.
Just move.
Just move.
Yeah.
That was extremely powerful. Thank you so much for trusting me. I thought you were about to give me my props. So you
I cannot with you too.
Yeah, right.
thought he was about to say the power of a good producer.
Right. That's funny.
But I think that, you know, one of the things that I'm careful to do is I don't want to injure anyone. I don't want to injure anyone, but I also don't want to put somebody up on the mic who is like all packaged and pretty and not able to keep it real. Because we sick of them. It's enough of them branded folk running around here with all of the right, you know, kinds of things. And the thing that I think is most valuable is vulnerability. Mm-hmm. And people like, no, okay, oh shit, like this is a real thing. Like, yeah. And also, you know, day by day. There was something that Ruben said, and when we were practicing the story, he didn't say it in the actual telling. He talked about like this new reality of seeing God in small things, like a breeze, you know, or something like that. That's the kind of revelation that I believe that your stories carry. Just what it looks like in the small. You were Mama Cherry, like she about to, bust you upside the head with a cast iron after she done doused you with some grease because you didn't come and talk about you hate her. Right. Like you came for me. What you mean you hate me? You know what I'm saying? But you stood there. Like it was so real and it was so powerful. It was so profound. You sitting there thinking that you were the victim, and it turns out you were the source of all of that, and the shame that she felt not being able to take those calls because she was just, she was numbing the pain. You know, And then just all of the ways, Star, that you just kind of represent, like, I'm every woman. Like all of it. You didn't tell this in this particular telling, but you when you normally tell this story, you talk about Black women don't, like, I'm Black, Doc, we don't get no postpartum. Like, what is this?
What is this? Right, now, you know I'm Black, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? White girl problems. Like, well, that's not a problem for me.
But that was one of the things that I noticed in all of the stories. I noticed a thread of, like, mental health. Like your mom was like, okay, I know he's crazy. So she takes you through all of these, and you're like, okay, and that wasn't it. Like that, that wasn't the solution. The one that you didn't connect with, you said that when you first started seeing her, your voice started to crack. You're like, I know I'm not about to sit here and cry in front of this.
Go see my baby mama.
Right.
Talk about Black people in mental health.
Well, I know for me, for sure. Even all the way down to how I look on the outside. People automatically put me in a space based on how I look, right? And they automatically think I'm something I've never been, not even close to. And so that is hard to deal with. And so I remember when I decided to talk to somebody outside of my friends and family, what it done for me as far as being able to accept me. Because when people treat you like that off top, you automatically take it to self, like something must be wrong, with me. So it was in the space where I would see my first psychologist and talk, and it was after a heartbreak. It was a terrible breakup. And I could not get my shit together. I didn't went to church. I didn't went anywhere. I called my mama, my friends, and I still don't want to get out of bed. Like, I gotta go see somebody. And it was then that I said, and I've been preaching this since then, that first off, she told me that this was okay. There's nothing wrong with you. You've gone through this terrible breakup. You're supposed to be sad. Right. So there's nothing wrong with you, first. Secondly, you need to be here. This is what you should do when you feel like this, right? So I've been advocating just huge, like that. We got a dentist, maybe. I'm just being real, but we got a dentist. We got a primary care physician. We got an OBGYN, right? Our children has a pediatrician, right? So we got all the, if you hurt your foot, you go see the podiatrist, right? You need to be realigned, you go see the chiropractor. Well, what do you do when up here, you can't sleep and here hurts because of up here, right? You go see somebody to talk you through that. So just like you need doctors for everything else, and you can just have them, just like when you don't feel good, you just go see them, right? You go do some shit, you like, hey, can you get me in? I need to talk about this shit.
Yeah, exactly. No, that's real.
And it can't be somebody that love me. It can't be somebody that that's gonna hold me up, and help me gaslight my daughter. You know what I mean? It's got to be somebody that's like, that one line I use all the time too from my psychologist. I was going through something too, and I was gonna have to break up with somebody, and she looked at me and she said, "Star, that's just a conversation." That's it. So every time I gotta have something and I gotta say something to somebody, and I'd be like, "So it's just a conversation."
That's it. Yeah, that's good.
So those things, you just need it. We all do.
Yeah.
We all do. Everybody I know should have one. A baby mama.
Everybody. I love the way y'all do metaphors. Baby mama for your therapist and military.
I love that.
For your time served.
Man, your question, mental health, for years, when you, especially with Black people in the inner cities and urban communities, like that environment is so much hell and pain. When I was in St. Louis, I lived next to a house that was vacant. That's why all the crackheads hung out there, homeless people. I knew all the dope fiends in the neighborhood. Everybody knew Brother Muhammad, But that shit was normal to me. I thought that was normal to hear gunshots and shit, and police sirens, and they fighting down the street and all that, and who got killed. It was so normal to me that if I heard somebody get killed, like, oh shit, man, I feel sorry for you, but 5 minutes later, it was business as usual because it was so normal. But when I left St. Louis and went to Phoenix, which was a whole new world, I'm like, what the fuck? That shit wasn't normal? Like, I seen the contrast.
Right, exactly.
Because I was exposed to a different environment. You know, I'm like, that shit not normal? You know, and like, so like my wife now, Cheyenne, I said she bougie. But like Cheyenne, like traveled the world, been in the military, she a different breed. She didn't come up on the side of the tracks we come up on, right? So she be taking me to places, we go places. I'm like, this shit, like it's a whole nother world out here that I didn't know. I'm thinking everybody got crackheads in their family, everybody gunplay. I think that's the world. So if it's something other than that, I'm like, damn, you got a family, nobody do things? Nobody? Like, what kind of family is it? Where you from? You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody been in the penitentiary? Like, nobody in your family. Like, everybody went to college and shit. Like, I had never seen anything like that because that world was so normal.
Yeah.
So when it comes to mental health, it's showing me that exposure to new things is different. And that's a big thing. When I work with young people, I want to expose them to something new, something different that's so opposite of their world. The first time I came to Atlanta, like 20-some years ago. Now, here's the story. Now, you never knew this story. I came to Atlanta. I was just getting off parole. And it was hard as hell in St. Louis to find a job. They said Atlanta in the 90s was the black Mecca. So I said, well, since I ain't going to Mecca, I'm going to go to the black Mecca. I'm going to Atlanta. I get on the Greyhound bus with $28 in my pocket. That's all the money I had in the duffel bag. My little brother and one of my partners, they had the Greyhound. Like, where you gonna live? I said, shit, I don't know. I'm like, who you know somebody up there? I don't know nobody up there. Don't know nobody. I got the Greyhound bus station like 3-something in the morning here. I don't know where the hell I'm at. I'm looking around. I'm like, now what I'm gonna do?
You was right there. You was down the street.
Right down the street. Yeah, real talk. Right down the street. Yeah. And I had it was a man. I think he probably was an angel. He was standing on the mail. You know them blue mailboxes that be on the corner that you put the mail in. He was standing there, old dirty looking man, like a bum. I say, man, they got some hotels in St. Louis. They got these hotels. You can pay $15, going over some of the crackhead, get your little rocks off, and you can leave for a couple hours. 3 hours, $15. You know, I say, man, they got some hotels. I got $20. He said, no, we ain't got them kind of hotels around here. He said, well, this is a homeless shelter for men around the corner. I go in the homeless shelter for men around the corner, and I walk in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I say, man, I need a place to stay. He said, oh, well, you got to put your name on the list and all that. I signed my name. He see Muhammad. He said, you a Muslim? He said, man, one of the guys work here is a Muslim. Hold on. He go upstairs and get this brother named Terrence. He come down. He was in the nation. He said, you up on the Farrakhan? And when we talking and stuff, they let me sleep on the couch that night. And the next day, they put my name on the top of the list to get into this shelter. I walk in that shit. It's like bunks everywhere. I'm like, shit, like penitentiary. It's like home sweet home around here. Like, it's cool. Like, I had to do this. Like, it wasn't nothing, you know? I was leaving that shelter with nice suits on. And I remember walking to Macy's department store somewhere down here on Peachtree Street. I walked into Macy's and the sister said, damn, brother, you sharp as hell. And I'm talking to these sisters, I just came from St. Louis, I'm looking for a job. She said, you looking for a job? He said, we hiring right now in the men's department, selling men's clothes. She took me right upstairs. I wasn't here 2 days. I had me a job. So I came here 20-something years ago, homeless, with no job, running from St. Louis, come back 20 years later on a 25-acre ranch. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
20-something years later.
Yeah.
To the same city though.
Right.
But in a different mindset, different everything. You know what I'm saying? But I came here homeless, you know, and not know what the hell I was gonna be, not knowing nothing. You know, in a month, I knew about 1,000 people in Atlanta. Shit, I knew. Had I was single, I had a bunch of girlfriends. I'm just saying. I was single, bro. You know, but it was a whole nother world though. I come back now with a family and children and focus and a whole different mindset. But for me, it was exposure over the years. Like being exposed to something new gave me a contrast to what the illness that I thought was fucking normal.
Right.
That was a normal shit to me. Now I see in the contrast like that shit ain't normal. Yeah. It's something different out there, you know.
Yeah. So we talked about therapists, baby mamas, and all of that. Baby mamas for the therapists. What are some of the other things that we can promote for like just strategies in terms of folks who are, you know, just doing life and the shit is hard? How do we show up? Like, what do we? So I do a sunrise prayer walk and I cover everybody, but it helps me to stay grounded and sane And I have a bird symphony every morning. I just enjoy it. But that, that is my bliss. Being in place before the sun comes up and watching that whole production and being in awe every time.
Well, for me, it's been in this season. So starting in January, I'm still in my 3rd breast cancer battle, right? So I'm still in treatment. It's just they've improved the medication, right? We ain't even gonna talk about that. So that you stay here longer, so they can make more money off of you, so that you don't say I'm gonna die versus deal with this. We're gonna make it easier for you, so we can keep making all this money, right? $1 billion a second industry, healthcare world. Okay, so enough of that. This one allows me to look normal. This particular treatment, so I was trying to. I'm afraid sometimes of what it's doing to me later. Right? Because just like everything I've done, I've arrived here. Well, the treatments have done some things along the way, and everybody says it's going to be different. So I'm like, okay, I'm on this treatment now. What's it going to do? And so I'm trying to get to a place of cleanliness from the inside out. So for me, it's about intake. If you only get one body, if you don't take care of it, where you going to live?
Yeah.
Right? So what I put in my body, so trying to get back to a place where I'm growing all my food. I didn't know anything about eating bad food until I got to college, right? And working out. Even I work out, but I've gotten away as an athlete. I've worked out to a level that most people never have, where you work out so hard you pass out, where you can take 20 flights of stairs and not be winded. I've been in that kind of shape in my life. Right. And so I know that the reason that I have battled through cancer as gracefully as I have is because for 18 years, I put the best thing, my grandma's garden, in my body. Right. And then I worked out and was in the best shape of my life through my 30s. Even my pregnancies, I worked out 3 days a week. Right. And so that gave my body something to fight with. When I have to. So working out in the morning now has become this thing where I cry after I'm done. And I am praying and I am thanking the universe and God, and I am putting these bubbles around my loved ones with a drop of God's blood in his veins to keep them safe. That is what I am calling out over your kids, do you hear me? Now that I'm looking at you, it'll be over yours, it'll be over yours, it'll be over you and all of yours, Lex. Right. Because you have thousands of them. And so that I'm good. I can't lead and be who I need to be if I have not taken care of myself. And moms, a lot of times we put everybody else first. And so that 15, 10, 30, 45 minutes that I get in the morning for me, so that I can be for everybody, and you have to put yourself first. I don't care if it's 5 minutes. I was working out this morning and my daughter texted me, Mom, boop, right off my screen. I can't. I got to get through this 10 minutes. I got 8 more minutes, baby, and then I'll deal with you. Right. So taking the time for myself to do something good for me, for my body, good for my psyche, good. That says, okay, now you can do the rest of today.
It's powerful. When I was in drug rehab, at 14. One of the most memorable things that I remember from that was learning the serenity prayer. I had never heard it before prior to that, but that's something big in that drug and alcohol world. And so when they say, God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so I've lived my life believing that sometimes we take on not just our own personal burdens, but everybody else's fucking burdens. Our family, our children, our friends, and everybody else. Now that shit becomes too heavy for us to carry. So now I gotta smoke to escape it. I gotta drink to numb it. I gotta do sex. I gotta give me food. It gotta be something to get away with. But my own, if I eliminate all they give me serenity to accept the things I cannot change, If I eliminate everybody else's burdens that I've accepted as my own, I can cope with my own shit. Like I can cope with mine because it's a byproduct of me. But now I got mine and then yours, all these children I got, and then baby mama crazy as hell, my uncle, my cousin, my grandma. You know, when you take on all that, it becomes too overwhelming. You know, so I've learned to in terms of coping was not to take on everybody else's burden.
Yes,
you know, just to like own mine, damn it. And I can help somebody, I can coach you, I can talk to you, encourage you, but damn it, you gotta bear your own cross.
Absolutely.
You gotta bear your own cross. Everybody gotta bear their own cross, but I don't wanna bear my cross and everybody else's cross too.
Right.
That's when it becomes too heavy and it becomes too burdensome on us. You know, so, and I remember a brother he said, man, I don't ask God to remove my burden. I ask God to strengthen my legs. To strengthen my back so I can carry my burden a little bit easier. Because you know, when you different weights, you know, the heavier, the more you get it, the more muscle you build up on it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what I go through personally. If it's a byproduct of my own choice and decision, I want to carry that. You know, because I know it's gonna make me stronger. But I'm not gonna carry mine and everybody else's. I don't give a damn who it is, including my children. Or my mom. I ain't nobody. I'm not gonna carry everybody from your choice and your mistakes. I gotta carry it. Now I'm stressed the fuck out because of what you done did. Exactly. I ain't doing that like that. No. So people say, you 50? I say, man, I ain't stressed out from my wife, no damn body. I ain't nobody stressing me out like that. I ain't getting gray-headed because of your shit. If I'm getting gray-headed, it's gonna be because of my own. You know, I done made choice and decisions. So I learned to like not take on everybody else's burden and on my own, you know?
That's wisdom. That's wisdom. Last thought.
I mean, it's all true. It's all 100% true. And to be honest, again, I'm getting there, me personally, because for 30-something years, I was the problem solver. You called me, and I would make the decision on how we're gonna rectify this problem.
Except when it was calling for snakes.
Right. My daughter, I told you, put me through the ringer to the point where my prayers would constantly, first thing in the morning, I'm praying for her life, for her safety, because of her bad decisions. And one time God spoke to me clearly as I was praying for her, and he said, you realize what you're doing. He said, you have made Brittany your God.
Wow.
You have put her before you put me.
Wow.
I love her more than you do.
That's right.
And yet the first name you call out in the morning is hers rather than mine. And so I said, Lord, you're right. So I need to stop doing that. And so I said, and I did to some degree put her in her spot to deal with her. But again, I'm still in that first responder caregiver field. And because you love your family, you don't want to see them hurt. And so you try to maintain it. And then you talking about bearing your own. You know, I know what I've done in my life. I know what I've done in my marriage. And I know how I checked out at one time mentally. And so when I check back in to see what I had overlooked, which was right beneath my nose the whole time, is her dealing with her mental issues and stresses and the physical plagues that she was dealing with. To feel so guilty, then you like, well, if I had been here, maybe this wouldn't have happened. So now I gotta take that on me. So the very things that I said I wasn't gonna do, I started doing again. And so you say, what do you do to get out? Well, I'm learning. I'm praying.
I'm learning. And I feel like that is the most powerful thing. I feel like we're always in the space of like, well, we gotta know. And we forget that before you know, you learn. You learn and then you know, and then you share. Yeah, you share. And you share in the form of the beautiful stories that y'all have carried. The many dangers, toils, and snares we have already come. Grace will lead us all. That's Shay.
He's so graceful.
I am. And smart.
He's so humble.
You will.
She makes a hell of a paper turkey. She made money.
All season.
She don't have to use no more.
Yeah, right.
That's so perfect.
Right.
Them little scissors with no points.
They're not too sharp. They don't really cut.
Ain't nothing. Give me y'all a prayer.
Thank y'all. Love y'all.
I love y'all.
Amazing. Y'all have been
No
awesome.
more fears. Tomorrow is my turn. sun.